I just realized that this entire time that I have been talking, I have been muted, looking over and then seeing red. Yes, I am not sorry. That's me being dumb. So, alright, disappearing indicators when spotted. Yeah, I did just wake up. Spotted targets going behind cover. They're disappearing. And it's a game mechanic they added. And now they realize they made a mistake. HUD colors more visible, something that we want. Introducing an option in the minimap. HUD adjustment, positions in the minimap. Fixing colorblind options and adding for... I'm going to delete this stream. Or just tell everybody, hey, go further down. I made a mistake. Alright, so fixing colorblind options, adding the red, green to friendlies, which I don't know why they took that away to begin with. Okay, now that you guys can actually hear me, here's my opinion on this. Monitoring artillery to gather information on it if it has increased in effectiveness. Too little statistics right now to tell. You're not going to be able to see that they have increased in effectiveness because every single tank has increased in effectiveness. But it's the fact that over the course of a minute and a half, a T-92 would kill me. Now it takes them less than 50 seconds to kill me. So that right there is my problem with that. And then we are aware of the number of players having gold, issues, lost, whatever. More information on this soon. On one of these streams I watched, they were talking about just all this stuff at once. And then they were saying that we want to make sure that players aren't, scamming us. We want to make sure that, we're not doing this update and then giving all these players back gold because they apparently made a mistake even though they were using gold to begin with. It's like, who uses gold to pay for equipment? You have silver to pay for equipment now. Like, what? You just blew my mind with the amount of stupidity that just came out of your mouth, Pangod. I'm sorry that I said that, but who uses gold to pay for consumables now? Who uses gold to pay for ammo? It's like if you perform well enough, you make money every single game. I'm a, you use me as a, a reason why. I make money even though there's moments that I'll fire nothing but heat. But yeah, there's an update coming. Little, fixes to life going on inside the game. Just a couple of other things, but yeah. I can't believe I had my mic muted. You have no idea how dumb I feel about that. I just looked over and I realized, why is it red? Oh, are you kidding me? So, yeah, World of Tanks is down right now. I don't know how much longer it's going to be down. I was wanting to get on and do a little bit, but since it's down and I can't log in, I just said screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and... The music locker. What is the music locker? Play a little bit of GTA and then just, talk about it. The update itself, I noticed that Lance, put down inside the Discord saying, I like it. I kind of like it. Yes, you're right, Lance, there are a few things that could make it a lot better if they outright just fixed them. But at the same time, there's so many things that they need to fix that it's just outrageous. So, jumping on, playing a couple of matches, you get an idea on what's going on. The in-game mechanics, they said that they wanted to make it easier for new players. But since people are going, let's say, through... They'll back up behind a wall. Not everyone pays attention to their map, okay? And this is just as an example. The map right now is smaller. And now you have less information on screen whenever enemies go behind walls. And then, as I said, your map is smaller. So all of a sudden now you've got to pay attention to your map at the top left. And whoever plays with the circle map is at a clear disadvantage. Because... You don't know how far away that guy is on your left side. You don't know if he's out in the open unless you physically look over there and see an indicator saying he's there. But doing that, he probably could have just barely got behind the wall. And suddenly, it's like now you feel safe, you feel like you can pull out. Another thing is that I don't want to see gamer cards on who killed me. To me, that is just lazy and an absolute lack of information. You know, they swapped it over. It could have been really nice to have, but they swapped it over. And rather than knowing what tank hit me, what killed me, I now have to look at the gamer tag, go to the scoreboard, try to find it, just to be able to, you know what killed me. Because it's, you know, you're sitting there, you're like, oh, I also got hit for 10,000 damage. What the heck just hit me, you know? Oh, gotta go look. You know, I'm happy there's no tank in the game that does 10k damage. That would just be ridiculous. But, I mean, you guys get the point. There's things out there that it's like, why is it set up like this? And just, yeah. I'm a little bit, you know, irritated by it because, you know, they've done stuff like this in the past, but not to this extent. And the amount of negative feedback that they got was immense. And with True Vision, okay, True Vision for instance, a lot of the mechanics and everything else that they used in True Vision, I've noticed that there's a couple of them that have been implemented into the game. One being, you know, basically pretty much someone gets spotted out. The light tanks pretty much have their True Vision camouflage rating back, but just not to the same extent. And, you know, let's go ahead and then jump inside a replay real fast. So we got the voiceover here. Yes, this is a replay that we used yesterday, but this is just to give you an idea on what I'm talking about. So whenever you look at the map from this point of view right here, you'll notice that we have our safety circle, which is the dotted circle going all around us. That is your effective camouflage rating. Now, in front of that circle, with the direction that I am facing, you see my white line that tells you exactly where the barrel is pointing. Now, along with that, we have the blue cone. That blue cone is actually your effective spot range. You know, like that lets me know inside of a light tank where I can sit, where my safety net is, and everything else. But so far, actually playing the game, you know, jumping inside World of Tanks, that safety net is always full. It's always maxed out at 400 meters. It hasn't changed. Even whenever I pull out my Vanguard, it's still extremely large. Okay, that's something that needs to be fixed, and it needs to be fixed absolutely fast. Because it's like for a lot of us, you know, experienced players inside the game, that is something that helps us out a lot. Now, just based upon knowledge and then, you know, reading what the stats are right now inside the actual game helps me out as well, because, you know, knowing that they added still concealment tells you what your still concealment is. That doesn't tell me what my moving concealment is. But I do know that inside the Leopard 1, for instance, my moving concealment, well, my stationary concealment was 0.27 to begin with. And then my still concealment, well, no, my still concealment 0.27, my moving concealment was like 0.17, 0.16. So then I built my crew according on my Leopard 1, and I had a lot of good runs inside that tank, you know, easy high calibers, easy spotting out, outspotting. I ended up in Properovka, had a really good match in Properovka inside of my Leopard 1. Now, the lack of information whenever looking at people needs to be addressed too. You know, since we have the map at the top left of the screen now, we have the enemies icons down at the bottom right letting us know what they're in, their health, and everything else. I find that being at the bottom left with all the additional indicators down there, you now have to take your eyes off of the target that you are shooting at just in order to get a shot in and know how much you did. You know, and now that we have Eagle Eye as a permanent perk, which Eagle Eye back during the last update was a way of knowing if they were ammo racked, if their tracks were damaged, viewport knocked out, or if their turret was broken. And you could tell if it was broken because it would be yellow or red. An ammo rack, if it's red, well, clearly their top is blown and they are dead. There is no surviving. But with everything else, there's a lot to it. I'm going to go ahead try and see if I can get on World of Tanks. I got a few more minutes before I have to head out. But there's a lot of things that need to be addressed. And, you know, coming with it, I looked at the stream, I watched the comments come inside, and, you know, I can't believe that, you know, Minto Vinto, so Minto is actually kicking back and keeping a straight face about this. You know, he understands where the community is coming from, because he does feel the same way about the game, but don't hold it against him. He is one of the leads for it. So if he tries to talk against, you know, his employers is the best way to put this, because a CC is paid. If he tries to talk against them, there's going to be massive backlash. And I mean massive backlash. He could lose his position as, you know, basically the lead CC and a lot of things. So that's why he is refraining from saying anything about it, which is totally understandable. Now, there's not a whole lot to go over. You know, honestly, rather than dropping this bomb on the game the way that they did, they should have taken their time to do this update. You know, rather than dropping everything all at once, which was a lot that they dropped. I mean, completely game changing. And I haven't even jumped into what the garage is like. You know, like, the garage isn't that bad. As long as they go ahead and they fix up a couple of things inside the garage, it would be perfectly fine. You know, make it to where we can transfer our crews without much of a problem. But one of the biggest that I'm running into has got to be just the overall, you know, the ease of life aspect. They're making it difficult. So I think what they should have did first was drop the new map. Drop all the new maps. Leave the garage the way it was. Leave everything the way it was. Drop the new season. Ran it off of the old UI. And then as time slowly came up, to give us like a week's notice on what they were planning on doing. That way us as the player base could take a look and be like, oh, hey, we don't like this. Can you change that? And then implement it, and then we'll let you know how it goes. Like how they did True Vision. True Vision was a 2-week test. You know, like they had that going for a week. We had a chance to jump in, check it out, see how it ran. And then, you know, they got player feedback, which was, I think, like 92% negative. You know, and then they still talked about, you know, updating it and making it better and implementing it into the game again, completely ignoring the player base. Which, don't get me wrong, maybe if they updated it, it could have been better, but 92% of the player base disagreed. And then we have this update, which now 92% of the player base says revert the update. So, you know, it's reverting an update like this, you know, that takes a lot. I'd rather see them update the game the way that it is now. Have them fix it up to give us what their idea is that they want to do. And then if no one still likes it, you know, to then say, okay, we're sorry, let us revert it back. So, that's about all I have for today. Thank you for, you know, tuning in and listening to me monologuing. So, you know, the up in the forums, there's a couple of things just absolutely bonkers going on right now. It's just voting pools left and right to revert the game. Along with that, people complaining about artillery. And as I said before about artillery, you're not going to see effectiveness change by artillery. You're mostly going to see players dying extremely early. And that's the one thing that they do need to look at. They don't need to look at, is it doing 5k consistent damage? Is it making a 63% win rate? That's not the problem that we're having. The problem is that there's a 27-second reload on a T92 that can basically one-hit any tank in the game if it lands right. So, other than that, you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you probably Saturday. So, enjoy your time. I'm out of here.